Welcome to my presentation on exploring the community college completion agenda. In the overview of this presentation, we will seek to reflect on and answer the following questions. Is the number of community college graduates increasing? Is Georgia required to submit verification regarding the increase of graduates? Are community colleges reacting to the completion agenda? Looking ahead, is it possible to increase completion rates in two-year colleges? Before we begin, it helps to give a little context. In the Pathways to Prosperity project introduced by Harvard University in 2011, data was presented on how teenagers are finding it challenging to find jobs, and how the U.S. economy is beginning to suffer from a skills gap, which include both hard and soft skills, as many young adults lack the skills and work ethic needed for many minimum wage jobs. Where it was acceptable to get by in the job market with just a high school diploma, by 2007, the workforce began to raise its expectations for education requirements, as the need for individuals with post-secondary skills became more desirable and in demand. According to the prompt, the number of Americans attending college is at an all-time high, but the number graduating has not kept up with the pace. College completion must be our priority states. The strength of America's future depends on the ingenuity sparked by our college graduates. If low graduate rates are left unaddressed, it will hinder social mobility and impede the nation's economic progress. In our increasingly globalized world, the most economically successful nations will need a highly educated workforce with expertise and skills to adapt to ever more complex technological demands in the workplace. The majority of jobs created recently, and most of those that will be created in the near future, will require at least some post-secondary education. Let's talk statistics. If you are wondering how numbers are currently looking, according to the CompleteCollege.org 2023, less than 20% of community college students graduate in less than 2 years. Approximately 38% of today's graduates are older than 25. And there has been a 10% increase in credentials and degrees awarded by the CCA Alliance since 2015. So to answer the question of whether community colleges graduates were increasing, this data shows that the number is not high enough on a consistent basis. With that in mind, you may be wondering what is happening with the younger generations with attending college and solutions that we could take to resolve this. I love how Harvard University approached this topic with the mindset that the answer falls in finding the issue and experimenting with different models and strategies until there is success. The pressure is now on community colleges to find an appropriate response and action to the challenges that they face in order to achieve the completion goal. McPhail, 2011, offered a few suggestions in her summary report titled A Call to Action. In one section titled Commitment and How to Get It, McPhail 2011 states how the responsibility for completion is shared throughout the institution and the community. I like what she is insinuating here because it allows for shared accountability and encourages everyone involved to do their part and serve the greater good. So check out McPhail's 2011 key points. We need to communicate clearly what completion means. Completion must be embedded into the fabric of the institution, and this includes relationships, rigor, and relevance. Completion should be made a part of the institution's strategic plan. Community colleges must encourage the completion of certificates, degrees, and so on. The completion agenda must be transparent and data-driven. We have a responsibility to increase completion rates, and we have a legacy to create. In my understanding, I believe that the students should have a thorough understanding of what it means to complete their programs and tracks. In addition, I like how institutions were encouraged to embed this concept into its very foundations and principles. It should reflect in the mission statements, strategic plans, instructions, and student activities. There should be data kept on the completion rates because it aids institutions in seeing where they need the most improvement so that they can serve their students more efficiently. And when the numbers increase again, it could be a source of motivation. I would also like to note that socioeconomic status can also play a role in the completion rates, and raising efforts to raise funds for resources like scholarships, grants, or even tutoring could help in the long run. All in all, alleviating any barriers to admissions, enrollment, and completion is crucial to both students and institutions. Tying this to schools in Georgia, NITSL 2021 explains how the CCA Alliance and the University System of Georgia have begun to test out alternatives to acquiring remedial education for students who are not fully prepared for collegiate studies, specifically in the fields of English and math. In 2018 to 2019, the USG model proposed that co-requisite students are required to attend a co-requisite support course that includes 1 to 3 contact hours per week and is offered alongside the associated college level course. The support course is designed specifically to help students master the skills and knowledge required for success in the accompanying college level course. The results showed significant increases in the success rate of students who completed those co-requisite courses. The prompt also asks us to consider how does Georgia stack up against the data that has been presented. I did a little research and came across a chart displaying the outcomes of Georgia high school graduates in 2021, which is presented by the Georgia Governor's Office of Student Achievement. According to the data in 2021, 110,794 students graduated from high school in Georgia. Of that number, about 59% of them enrolled in some form of post-secondary education, whether it was public or private universities, tech schools, or so on. About 15.4% of those student statuses were unknown after graduation, and 23.1% of those students went into the workforce and have not enrolled in post-secondary education. I also noticed that the earned degree working in Georgia percentage is less than 1%, which I imagine will change in the next 1 to 2 years as these students are currently enrolled and should reach their completion dates within the next few years. I am excited to see what comes from this data, but this shows me that Georgia, at least in Georgia, students still desire to achieve post-secondary education credentials after high school. In conclusion, I think that in order to continue to see increases like this, everyone has to take accountability and do their part so that everyone can succeed. Success cannot happen without a plan, and no good plan can be made without teamwork. Attached here are the references, and thank you for watching.